too much. You don't want to pay them all. Huh?
Scooter, your scooter.
Yeah.
The scooter.
The one Larry's got.
Wasn't it just given to him?
Oh, are you doing the live streaming?
And he said it's no good.
When it's broke or something broke on it, it costs too much to fix it.
You got the box.
But you want me to get it nothing to the VA, right? And if you don't think you're going to get it for nothing, do you?
Only in stature. not in personality.
Yeah, they're moving right along up here. They're moving right along.
How you doing? Perfect.
He'll go back in 6 months.
Thank you, Jason. Hi guys, if you could all come on in and have a seat for us, we're going to get started. Can you hear me? This one? Okay, now can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you for attending our Colonial II groundbreaking ceremony. My name is Maureen Birmingham, and I'm the Executive Director for the Rome Housing Authority. I have been fortunate enough to be here for 22 years and made it through all 3 phases of Liberty Gardens, Colonial I, the building behind you, and now into Colonial II. I have to say this is a very exciting project that we're undergoing with all the geothermal and the solar. And I really look very forward to it. I think it's going to give something back to the tenants as well as to the community. And I'm happy to see it through the end.
Thank you.
So unfortunately, HCR Commissioner Ruth Ann Visnaskis could not make it today, but their office has been an intricate part of making sure that all of these projects have gone so smoothly. We are happy to announce that Darren Scott, the Assistant Commissioner for the Upstate East Director of Development, correct?
Close enough.
Okay, I can't read my own handwriting, so I apologize. He is here to speak on behalf of HCR.
Thank you. Well, go without the mic. It's my notes or the mic, and I need my notes. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I'm not Commissioner of Visnaskis, so sorry to disappoint, but I am very, very happy to be here back in Rome. Love coming to Rome and working with the mayor to get some affordable housing built. So the commissioner does send her deepest regrets. She was really looking forward to being here. This being the first public housing tower in New York State to go net zero, which is super exciting. But also we're meeting up with one of our former colleagues, and I know that she wanted to see Nicole. I'll have a few comments about that later. So anyway, good morning or good afternoon, and on behalf of Governor Kathy Hochul, it's a pleasure to be here in Rome as we begin this exciting rehabilitation and modernization of Colonial II Apartments. So I'd like to begin by thanking our partners, Beacon Communities. They've been fantastic with the renovation of the tower in back of you, through getting through to the closing on this project. And of course, the Rome Housing Authority. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a creature of the Public Housing Authority group of New York State. I used to work at the Albany Housing Authority for over 20 years, and so I'm intimately familiar with housing authorities. I'm a huge proponent, and basically they're my peeps. So really, really proud of you for taking such a leadership role in your community and being at the forefront, not only in your community when it comes to affordable housing, but also the innovative side of developing affordable housing as we're seeing in this project. The preservation and improvement of our existing public housing facilities is crucial. This portfolio is among the most valuable affordable housing assets we have, and in many cases, the only affordable housing available in some communities. By maintaining our public housing, we can ensure that these homes remain a viable resource of affordable housing for decades to come, and by upgrading these buildings, we can ensure that our most vulnerable residents have the safe, reliable, and healthy homes that they deserve. Protecting and expanding New York's housing supply is the cornerstone of the governor's new housing plan and central to our agency's mission. And as a result of the work here today, 74 seniors and individuals with disabilities will reside in a net zero carbon development, modernized for the first time after 50 years of operation. Thank you to our team at HCR. They're back in the trenches doing the work, but I will share their thoughts, or your thoughts with them about how great this project is. They really do deserve a lot of credit for seeing this project through, and to our state and local elected officials, especially Senator Griffo and Mayor Izzo, for joining us today. And I must acknowledge our former Senior Vice President of Multifamily Finance, Nicole Ferreira. Where are you, Nicole? You were just here. There you are. Okay. Who is now Executive Vice President with Beacon Communities. Although we miss her at HCR dearly, Nicole remains a leader in the affordable housing industry, and we will all continue to benefit from her talent as she spearheads Beacon's New York portfolio. To everyone who put time and energy into getting us to this point, thank you so much. Colonial II Apartments will not only provide its residents a home, but will help revitalize the surrounding area in Rome and provide an example of smart, sustainable development for the future. Before the ceremony started, I was speaking with Darlene, who's a resident in the tower behind you, and she says she loves living there. She's been there for 18 years, and she lived through the renovation, and our apartment is even better than before, but she also loves the neighborhood that she lives in, and I think the rehabilitation of the towers really contributes to that. Colonial II Apartments will not only provide its residents a home, but will help revitalize the surrounding area of Rome. When complete, this innovative redevelopment will give its residents a modern, energy-efficient home conveniently located near multiple bus routes, a pharmacy, a grocery store, and local medical facilities. So we all need affordable housing. That's just a fact. We might need it at different price points. Some of us at a higher price point, which gives us a little bit more flexibility in where we choose to live, but many people don't have that kind of flexibility. And so it's really, really important to revitalize developments like this and to also plan new affordable housing in neighborhoods that have all the amenities that this one has. The thoughtful design of Colonial II Apartments takes into account the essential environmental demands of the future while also addressing the needs that residents have today for affordable, healthy, and comfortable, healthy, and affordable place to live with lower energy costs. In addition to the 74 apartments, the building will contain 14,000 square feet of communal and amenity areas that truly make an apartment a home. We all need much more than just a roof over our heads. I think we know that. We need to rest, feel safe, be part of a community, and age in place with dignity. We need proximity to services and community resources. And we need homes that will help fight against the impact of climate change while helping keep our families safe and healthy and our costs of living down. The success of Colonial II will provide a model for similar improvements at public housing authorities around New York State and across the country. As part of our work to meet these goals for all New Yorkers, from Rome to Rockaway, HCR is at the forefront of the governor's strategy of breathing new life into communities, protecting and preserving affordable housing, strengthening local communities, and achieving the governor's mandate to reduce the state's carbon footprint by 2050 by financing developments like this one. Governor Hochul's new $25 billion 5-year housing plan is designed to preserve or construct 100,000 homes, including 10,000 with supportive services, and will make 2 million homes all electric or electrification ready by 2030. In late 2019, it's hard to believe, it feels like that's yesterday, but I was here to do the ribbon cutting ceremony for this building here. We celebrated the grand opening of the upgraded and modernized Colonial I Apartments, which now provide modern and affordable homes for over 80 seniors and people with disabilities. After the success of our partnership with the Rome Housing Authority on the rehabilitation of Colonial I, I'm proud that the work is officially underway on Colonial II, our latest partnership with the RHA. Thank you again to all our partners, and congratulations to all for making today a reality. Together, we are building a better, healthier, and more equitable future for New Yorkers. And I look forward to coming back with the Commissioner to the ribbon cutting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So next up, I would like to introduce Patrick O'Shea, who is the Director of Market Development for Nyserda. I would like to state that it is because of Nyserda and their grants that we were awarded that we have got a very exciting project going on. This could not be done with the sustainability without the approval and the award of the grant that we received from them. So thank you. And
Thank you, Maureen. So first of all, I'd like to extend a warm welcome from Dorian Harris, the President and CEO of Nyserda, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. under the state's Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. We are one of the co-chairs of the Climate Action Council and are currently standing up a series of measures to help the state achieve its environmental and energy goals. And I'm happy to announce that for the building itself, we've awarded this project $1.3 million, and additional funding will go to the PV as that is further scoped out. So I need to tell you why. Why are we giving this project $1.3 million? So, and I won't talk about emissions. I'll talk about why it's a better building and it's a better place to live and it's better for your community. First, I do want to acknowledge it's hard to take the standards for highly efficient, net zero energy, all electric buildings and do that in an existing building. It's much easier in new construction where the building is just on a piece of paper or in somebody's mind or on a computer. I mean, they're on a computer nowadays, right? Nobody draws on paper except architects, right? So anyway, that's a lot easier. When your starting slate is an existing building, it's much harder. You have to deal with solutions that made sense 50 years ago but don't make sense today. Restrictions and costs. But there are some advantages of adaptive reuse of buildings like this, and I just want to talk about those. First of all, this is a much lower embodied carbon project in new construction. So if you think about construction, there's a lot of emissions associated with producing the materials and the transportation associated. So when you reuse a building like this, you're reusing the energy and the emissions that went into the existing building instead of new emissions and new energy. And that is one of the principles of the Buildings of Excellence, which was $1 million of this funding. The other thing I do want to mention that we focus on, that is resiliency. So again, a challenge for the team was to make this building more resilient to weather events and other disruptions. But I do want to acknowledge Beacon Communities, Darren and Nicole, and I was also told to mention Duncan, who was a driving force early on in this project. Rita Architecture and architect Dominic. Also New Ecology and Ashley, the lead for that team. Because in the world of construction, not everything you design gets built, but nothing gets built if it's not designed. It has to be designed. You have to figure out how to make it work, how to make it perform, and then how to make it affordable, right? So how to bring it in your budget. So those are all very important things. So some things about this building. It will have a high performance building envelope, the building shell, the outer shell, and energy recovery ventilation. And combined, what that really gives you, how to make it personal. It gives you highly efficient, affordable comfort. Affordable comfort, no matter how hot and humid it is outside, or cold and windy it is outside. It's affordable, highly efficient comfort. It's also much quieter. One of the things that people don't notice, these are quiet buildings. They are much quieter. When you go from that to the all-electric HVAC and appliances, so this will have geothermal, which will bring warmth from the earth up in the winter and coolness from the earth up in the summer, and the building will convert it into the temperatures it needs. But when you go to all electric and you take combustion and open flames out of the building, you take all of those combustion products, which include particulate matter, out of the building. You don't lose the energy that you have to use to get carbon monoxide to leave the building. Like, when you think about it, why would we want to live in a building that has combustion going on inside? And removing open flames makes the building much safer, right? There's no open flames to catch a shirt sleeve on. So it's a much safer building. It has an incredibly high level of indoor air quality. So if you have respiratory issues, emphysema or asthma, this is a much improved indoor air quality environment. Also, there's no site emissions, so it's better for the neighborhood as well. And then finally, with PV, The PV, this will be net zero, so that basically means the PV will generate on average over the course of a year all of the electric or energy consumption of the building itself. So that gives you a building that is less costly to operate over time. So these aren't just better for the environment. They're not just better from an energy efficiency point of view. These are better buildings to live in. They're better for the communities they're in. And we're very glad to be here. I always say, any day on a construction site is always better than a day in the office. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. O'Shea. This project also has support from State Senator Joseph Griffo. He has been very supportive with the Rome Housing Authority and all of the projects that we've been fortunate enough to do, from Liberty Gardens 1, 2, and 3 right to the Colonial 1 and now into Colonial 2. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Senator Joseph Griffo.
I thought I just sat through an earth science class. It's always good to be home, and I want to thank the Housing Authority. I want to thank the developers. I want to thank the construction crew, all that have worked so hard on this. The mayor for her leadership. I thought she was going to throw me a welcome home ceremony, but we'll work on that, right? She's calling it Honor America Days. So, but it's really when you can come to a community, particularly as a former mayor here, and to see not only that the community continues to deal with all of its challenges, but particularly when you look at preserving neighborhoods and growing neighborhoods, that is essential to the well-being of any community. So to invest here in safe and affordable housing options, I think is very important and significant. And as a result of that, we're going to be able to serve a segment of our population, seniors and those with disabilities, and provide them with modern, energy-efficient housing. And I think that is something that is part of the American dream, to ensure that people are living in a comfortable, safe, and when you look at the modernization and think that we're preserving and rehabbing an existing building and making that energy efficient, I think that's a great collaborative project, and it's a project that will serve the residents and the community well. So it's a pleasure to support that, pleasure to be with you. Look forward to seeing what it looks like when it's done. God bless you all.
Thank you, Senator Griffo. So through the course of all this, another very intricate and important part of helping the Rome Housing Authority be as successful as they are is the great backing that we've had from Mayor Izzo. Definitely, especially with the Colonial II project as we got ready to go, this was such a new project that we were doing with the geothermal, and she was extremely intricate from the start, helping us to get approved, helping us to get our pilot, and just being a wonderful supporter for the Rome Housing Authority and for Beacon Communities. So with that, I would like to introduce Mayor Jackie Izzo.
Thank you, Maureen. You know, everyone doesn't realize, but Joe thinks we have the parade every year for Honor Joe Days. Really, this is fantastic. With everything that's been said, one of the things that excites me the most with this project is the fact that these apartments are going to be expanded in actual square footage living space. They're very small, and now I think they will be of a size that will really make the residents feel more at home and have some more space. I think that's such an important part of this project, along with everything else that we're doing. Nyserda, thank you for being here. This is really a great project for the geothermal. Can't say enough about Darren and the commissioner. HCR has been so good to us here in Rome, and I'm always putting the pressure on him for projects, but we've really had a great working relationship, and I don't want to put any pressure on the board. The board has been so fantastic here. Thank you all for your commitment, the tenant representatives. I am hopeful, though, that we're moving on from here to Valentine next, and we'll have done all the facilities. But this is a great day and a great project. Beacon's been a great project partner, too, and so Senator is always supportive of these types of projects, and it takes a lot for us to get funding all the way through the state process. And without his help, it would be very difficult. So thank you all for being here this morning. Again, thank you to the board and Maureen, because this takes a lot of planning, and it also is a commitment for quite a period of time to get these projects off the ground. And all of that work is being done behind the scenes between the director and the board and all the staff here. The staff does a great job in these buildings. So, as Darren said, I hope we're all back here for the ribbon cutting, and the commissioner will be with us at that time. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mayor Rizzo. So from the start, these projects could not have happened without our partner. And our next speaker is Darren Koval, who is the CEO for Beacon. It is because of Beacon and all the hard work that they all do behind the scenes and the partnering with the Rome Housing Authority that we have been fortunate enough to be able to not only apply but succeed in getting the grants and moving forward with success as we did with Colonial I. That being said, I would like to introduce you to Darren Koval, the CEO for Beacon Communities.
Thanks, Maureen. And thanks to everyone for being here. Thanks to our local and state, as well as our federal partners who have all made this possible. As you know, and as you've heard, we're one of many different instruments in a rather large orchestra that makes a project like this a success. As you've heard from Darren and Patrick, this is the first public housing renovation that will be carbon neutral in the state of New York. So that's a really exciting thing to be able to say, right? And it's important, not just because of that, but for a whole host of other reasons, many of which you've heard, but I just want to highlight a few that are important to us. We all know that buildings contribute to climate change. They're globally account for 30% of the impact of carbon emissions that therefore kind of cause climate change. And so when we do a renovation like this, it's a huge opportunity. You know, you can't aim low. You got to aim as high as you can to really reduce the carbon and think about both the inputs and the outputs that come through a building like this. So to have a partner like Nyserda who's standing there with us, allowing us to do carbon neutrality here is just a phenomenal thing to do. And obviously reusing the building, as Patrick talked about, is the most environmentally sound thing that we can do. This project has cutting-edge technologies like the on-site geothermal well that will be connected to ground source heat pumps, on-site and off-site solar arrays, which will contribute to the lion's share of the energy that's needed to run this building, which is just a phenomenal thing. And in this way, Beacon and its partners are helping the state reach its ambitious climate change goals. And it's pretty impressive, the climate change aspirations that the state of New York has established. And we hope that this will be a blueprint for other housing authorities and affordable housing redevelopments across the state of New York. We also know that this is a boost to the local economy coming out of the pandemic and the downturn that we've experienced. It's always exciting to me to come to a construction site and to see all the activity, the workers, the materials going on here, because that really does help rejuvenate local economies and provides jobs. Very important work. And while all of those things are really exciting and important in terms of the accomplishments here, what's most significant is how this project will ultimately improve the lives of the residents. That's why we do this work, and that's really what it's all about. We're very excited to see the improvements here, the increase of the unit sizes, the high quality, modern, affordable housing that will be here at Colonial II, building on some of the success here at Colonial I. So that couldn't be more important. That is what drives us, and that's really why we're here. And I want to thank the residents for your patience and for putting up with the disruption of construction. That's not a small thing, and for your leadership. So thank you guys so much. I really want to appreciate you. As we all know, housing really is at a premium across the state, and affordable housing is in short supply. We want to maintain units like this while continuing to produce units in other locations. Obviously, maintaining housing so residents can stay in place. And by doing this work with Maureen and her team, we know that the Rome Housing Authority will be able to serve residents not just this year, not just next year, but for decades to come. So these upgrades really will serve us for many, many, many years into the future. The sustainability upgrades also, as we've talked about, will help keep the cost of running the building down, and that affordability kind of gets the rents, allows the rents to be maintained at a reasonable price. So projects like this, I think, really do prove both that public-private partnerships work well for execution of these types of deals, and also that both that sustainability and affordable housing can go hand in hand. It's clear that the local administration believes that. It's fantastic to have the leadership we have, both at the executive level and with HCR, and we're really excited to have partners who are committed to that future. To that end, I specifically want to thank Darren and Ruth Ann and the whole HCR team for the leadership you guys are showing on this work. We're looking forward to a long and fruitful relationship over the next many decades. Also want to thank Nyserda. Having a partner, Beacon works in 12 states. New York is just one of them. And there aren't many partners like Nyserda who are investing in leading technology, really supporting projects at this scale and scope. So it's really fantastic to have Nyserda as a partner. We also want to thank, obviously, the Rome Housing Authority. Maureen has been a tremendous partner with our team, just really fun to work with, and deals with a lot of the stress and the daily ups and downs that come with a project like this. So thank you, Maureen, for your leadership. Yeah. Mayor Izzo, it's really also, obviously, you were very supportive of this project all along the way, and we hope to celebrate with you the ribbon cutting. Thank you for everything you've done to allow the Rome Housing Authority to move forward this. And then finally, before I hand it off back to Maureen, I want to thank my team, the folks who oversee the work. This is complicated work, and getting the financing together and overseeing the designers and the contractors is a lot of what it takes to get it to this stage. So I am thrilled, as Darren alluded to have stolen Nicole Ferreira from the state, from HCR, and she's leading our team here in New York as well as in Connecticut. And then Jason Felice, who is one of the critical project management team members who helped oversee this, as well as Thatcher Tiffany, who couldn't be here. So they are the guys who are doing the hard work and pulling their hair out day in and day out to make this all happen. So we look forward to replicating this across the state. We're very excited about working with Nyserda on other projects to increase the carbon neutrality of our overall portfolio, and really happy to be here to celebrate and congratulate you guys on what will be soon your new homes. So thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Dara. Of course, a lot of these projects wouldn't be done without the partnerships that we establish with some of the financing areas. Dave Walsh is the Managing Director of Community Development Real Estate with Chase Bank, and we've been fortunate enough to be with Chase through most of these projects as well. I'd like to introduce Dave Walsh at this time.
Thank you all. On behalf of all JP Morgan Chase employees, delighted to be here today to help celebrate. I'd like to congratulate everyone for bringing this project to the finish line. For anyone who has ever worked on a project like this, it's very complicated, as everyone's indicated, but you got an incredible partnership with Beacon and Nicole and Darren, her team, and Maureen and the team at the Housing Authority. That work together to really help bring it along. So congratulations to everyone. Also like to congratulate and thank actually everyone from HCR, Darren and the team over at HCR, and from the city, from the mayor perspective, and everyone that supported the project. Projects like this don't happen without tremendous government support, and with the real shortage of affordable housing around the state, the governor with the new housing plan really should be congratulated for allocating more and more resources towards addressing that issue. So I'd like to congratulate them as well and thank them. Our contribution to the project was to provide a construction loan. We were also acquired the tax credits that came along with the transaction through Hudson Housing, which is a group we work through nationally as a syndicator. This is actually look back that we've been involved in 6 deals here in Rome, 5 of which involved the Housing Authority, all 3 phases of Liberty Gardens, Colonial I next door, and now Colonial II here. It's a business that we're quite committed to, as the firm believes we should be investing and lending in the communities where we all live and serve. So I want to thank everyone for including us and being part of the team, and look forward to celebrating the ribbon cutting. So thank you all.
Thank you, Dave. So we saved the best for last. We asked one of our tenants from the Colonial II properties if they would like to give us their thoughts on this process. Fortunately, Ray has been here for quite a few years, and he's also a tenant-elect for our Board of Commissioners. With that, I would like to introduce Ray Hitchcock.
Good afternoon. My name is Ray Hitchcock, and I've been a resident of Colonial II for about 10 years. I've been fortunate enough to be elected to Rome Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners as a tenant-elect commissioner, excuse me, and will be starting my 3rd term. I am very excited to be part of the Colonial II conversion and very happy to see the progress that has been made since construction began on April 1st. This new conversion will be able to give the residents and myself much larger units that are easily accessible, have modern appliances, new flooring, and of course the new heating and cooling systems, which we can't wait for, the central air and all that good stuff. The new heating system, cooling system will be run by the new geothermal and solar installation. I really look forward to the building when it's completed. I would like to thank Mayor Izzo and Senator Griffel and everyone who took time out of their day to help us mark this very important day. And again, thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Just one more thank you. I would be very remiss if I did not thank my staff. As Darren said, this could not happen without the support, the dedication that these folks give us. You always have your ups and downs, but when push comes to shove, this team always stays together, and we wouldn't be here without them. So thank you to all of you guys for the great work. I'd also like to thank my board for their support and for all of the assistance they've given us. As Darren had said, this process started probably, I think, before Colonial I even finished. So this has been an ongoing process behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize just how much goes into it. A lot of different plans, vote, revote, it does take a little bit of time. So thank you to the board for your dedication for this process as well. And with that, what I would like to do is ask the folks who spoke, we're going to take a step over to the shovels to do the proverbial shovel in the dirt so that we can complete this groundbreaking. Once that is all done, everyone is welcome to attend. We have a little refreshments inside for all of you, and you guys are all more than welcome to attend for the reception. Thank you. Yep.
Also, in your notes here, do you have the spellings for the people who spoke?
Yep. Can I go take my picture?